Man, this past week, one article about men being lonelier than ever has caused a shitstorm. Men and women are acting a fool, and it's causing hate mail. And one lady got fired for it. So today we're going to talk about the rise of the lonely single men article and the fallout, which led to hate mail and a black female therapist getting fired. Let me play the intro and we'll get into it. Welcome everybody properly to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're gonna get into this this article that has just it just have social media in an uproar. The men are in the uproar, the women are, yeah, we told you, and it's causing a lot of hate mail. One therapist got fired, and we're gonna get into all that. So first thing I want to do is get into the actual article, so we can go over it. So all right, so this is gonna be the article right here. The rise of the lonely single men. The article that has people pissed off, getting people fired, hate mail. It's just ridiculous, man. Let's get into it. Let's even dig into this, okay? So, the rise of the lonely single men. Men need to address their deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. The key points: dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. Men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for matches. Men need to address skills deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they have been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. This is not my typical rosy view of relationships, but the reality nonetheless. Over the last 30 years, men have become the larger pro long term single people. While you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. Here are the three broad trends in the relationship landscape that suggest heterosexual men are in for a rough road ahead. Dating apps. Whether you're starting to date or recently divorced or dating again, dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connections in the United States. The only problem is that the upward of 62% of users of are men, and many women are overwhelmed by the number of options they have. Now, I'm gonna say this. I don't think those women are overwhelmed by the number of options. Most of these women know who they want to deal with. They do. They know who they're gonna deal with and who they not. So I'm gonna call bullshit on this part here. All these women know who they're gonna deal with. They're just trying to figure out which one's going to be the ones. What their problem is are these dudes that I'm attracted to going to fuck me over or not? That's where the problem is. That's what the problem with them is. But to say that the women are overwhelmed, I don't think so. They know who they want to deal with. Competition in online dating is fierce, and lucky in-person chance encounters with dreaming partners are rare than ever. Relationship standards. With so many options, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. I do a live TikTok show and speak with hundreds of audience members every week. I hear the recurring dating themes from women between the ages of 25 and 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, who are good communicators, and who share their values. Now, that's for the people they want to be in a relationship with. For the ones they just want to fuck, they don't have those standards like that. What are you talking about? All they want is for dudes that look good. So, especially if you're talking about in the black community, I see chicks with dudes who they this is what they but they still dating them, having sex with them, having babies with them, and you'd be like, why are you with this guy? And a lot of times I hear, well, I felt sorry for him. I saw potential. What potential? What the fuck? This dude homeless. How he has potential? I had to pick him up in my car. Wait. You had to pick up a man in your car? What? What are we doing here? So I do like relationships, maybe, but who they trying to have sex with? Nah, they ain't about that. Skill deficits. For men, this means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities and longer periods of being single. There's less patience for pure communication skills. Yeah, for the ones they're not attracted to. The problem for men is that the emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long term love, and it requires all the skills that families still are not consistently teaching young boys. Yes, because a lot of the times you teach them to worship the woman, they teach these boys to worship women, or on social media, they teach them to demonize women. But it's the same thing. You make the woman the world to these dudes. So whether it's just to get vagina or have a relationship, short term, long term, it's still about the females, and it's never about what the men need. What's their purpose? What's their goals? What's their legacy? We don't teach these boys about legacy. We teach them worship the women. The women are the most important thing. So if you're doing stuff like that, what do you expect? Of course, they're not gonna have no relationship skills. All you teaching them is to worship the woman. All you teaching them is go for sex. That's all everybody's teaching these boys. So y'all heard the term she's my better half, happy wife, happy life, that stuff. So you're teaching that to young boys from an early age. That's all they know. They're not teaching how to protect. They're not teaching them how to actually provide an environment so that they can live the lifestyle they want to live. Y'all don't. Nobody teaches these boys that. They don't teach them to be independent of the woman. They don't teach them how to be leadership, and leadership means at times you got to cut motherfuckers off. We don't teach these boys that. We teach them to get along, and especially with women, the women are everything. You're not important. And so when you teach stuff like that to men for a long period of time, and it and usually it don't work out, yes, this is where the anger comes in. They do all this and they still can't get the woman. They have these good jobs, all this career, and they still can't get the woman. What do you expect supposed to happen? And then it doesn't happen. The women are saying, well, now you got to have six figures. Now I need. They're describing their own sexual preferences online, which was a big mistake for women to do. Big mistake. Shouldn't have done that because now these dudes are angry. And then the other tragedy of social media is that the guys who didn't have to do all this, have this emotional connection, have this communication skills and all that, are talking to the guys who either had it, who was trying as much as they can to be the type of guy that that woman say that she want and failed. These people are talking. These people start talking, comparing notes, and then that's where you got these incels start getting angry and bitter. That created the incel, the MGTOWs, and the red pillars, because all these different groups of men, the ones that say they can get all these women, and they're saying their stories of how they didn't have to do much, whether it's true or not. Again, it's true or not, they believed it. And then you had the guys who were doing all the stuff, being the man that these women wanted them that they said they wanted, the good communicator, the nurturing, being all that stuff, and still not getting the women that they wanted. Not getting the sex, not getting anything. When these groups start talking, that's when you had these incels. Add to the dating coaches that was on there, the pickup artists. And these dudes were trying to do all that stuff that these pickup artists told them to do, and they still didn't get no women. Yeah, they got pissed off. And instead of teaching these men, hey, get on your purpose, get your career in on it, get your stuff in on. Women are not the most important thing in your life. Instead, we taught them the opposite. Women are the most important thing in their lives, whether from the pimps to the guys that worship women, the guys who had daughters who was trying to protect their daughters, but they went about it the wrong way. Hey, watch out from these women. Watch out for these dudes. I mean, watch out for these dudes. Watch out from these dudes. Teaching them who not to get with, but not teaching the women who to get with. In essence, demonizing men. So when you have all that going around, how is a young man supposed to get any type of success with women? You're not teaching them anything. In essence, you're teaching them the women is the most important thing. You're not important. So while there's probably no chance of stemming the tide of unintentional single men, there is some good news. The algorithms are becoming increasingly more complex on dating apps and other online platforms. One result is the great matches are on the rise. One day the app Hinge found through beta trials that 90% of users rated their first date positively, with 72 indicating that they wanted a second date. How can men reap the benefit of the algorithm? Level up your mental health game. This means getting into some individual therapy to address your skills gaps. It means valuing your own internal world and respecting your ideas enough to communicate them freely. It means seeking intimacy, romance, and emotional connection as worthy of your time and effort. Ultimately, we have an opportunity to revolutionize romantic relationships and establish new, healthier norms, starting with the first date. It's likely that some of these romances will be transformative and healing, disrupting generational trauma and establishing a fresh culture of admiration and validation. Men have a key role in this transformation, but only if they go all in. It's going to take the kind of commitment to themselves, to their mental health, and to the kind of love they want to generate in the world. Will we step up? Okay. All right. So I do like the part at the end that commitment to themselves, to their mental health. I like that. And the kind of love they want to generate in the world. Okay. I like that. However, I will say this. I think it's going to take participation on both sides because a lot of women are not participating. They'll do it for certain men, but they ain't going to do it for all men. That's why, like in the black community, where you got these women talking about black male worship, I'm trying to figure out where's the worship. There are a bunch of men who will never worship, not at all, not even a little bit. That man who's getting shit on from the jump and continue to get shit on. So I'm trying to figure out where the black male worship at. I don't see it. I'm trying to figure it out. It's only a certain group of men that get the worship. The rest of us don't get shit. That's why I like that talking point. It's garbage. It's a certain group of men that got worship. The rest of us didn't get that. So I do agree with him on the sense that you should make a commit. Men should make the commitment to themselves. Men should make that commitment to themselves to find purpose in their life. Worry about their legacy. Stop worrying about these women. Their mental health. Men need to focus on their mental health. Not doing it for a woman, do it for yourself. Your physical health. You shouldn't be doing that just primarily for a woman. It's got to be for you because that woman can leave tomorrow. You could be as caring as you want to be, emotionally available, all that stuff. If that woman don't like you, she gone. If that woman herself is not emotionally available, she gonna be gone, and then you're gonna be stuck, and you'll be right back to this depression, anger, and all the depression, the anger, hating yourself, hating these women. But if you have your mental health in order, have your shit in order, have purpose, have your own purpose, have something to do, you won't be worrying about these women all the time. These women are gonna do whatever. Let them do whatever. They just don't have to do it on your dime. You know? So now, so we saw the article, and like I said again, it is, you do have to have a communication. I do agree with that to an extent. You do need to learn how to communicate. You do need to learn how to express yourself effectively. But that doesn't mean you have to have all these big words. Just talk and be able to talk to people who actually respect you. That's another thing. You can't be so obsessed with these women, and particularly Since I'm a black man, I'm talking probably who's listening to me are black. You can't be so obsessed with these black women that you just accept any old thing, and then accept being scolded and insulted just to chase a sniff of the box over validation. You don't have to accept that. So, so I agree with you. With men need to focus on themselves. Yes, you need to focus on yourself. Get your stuff in order. So you ain't had to accept a lot of the bullshit that some of these women come with. You ain't gonna accept these women who got these emotional problems that which this article don't talk about. They don't talk about some of the women that have their own baggage that they bring to these men, and then you wonder why these men don't want to talk. You know, but I'll discuss that a little bit more when I talk to about the black female therapist. Um, but let me get to this part here. I'm share, stop sharing this one. We'll get to this part here. Share another screen. All right. And if you're watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. All right, here we go. Let me get to this part here. Yeah. Psychiatrists received hate mail after claiming more men are lonely and single because women have higher dating standards, but says he's only inviting them to be the best version of themselves. Okay. And the therapist's name is Greg Mathos. A psychiatrist has revealed he has received hate mail after claiming men are lonelier than ever as they struggle to meet the higher dating standards of modern women. Dr. Greg Mathos penned a piece called The Rise of the Lonely Single Man for Psychology Today, which he argued men need to address their relationship skills deficiency because women are becoming increasingly selective. He said, I hear recurring dating themes from women between the age of 25 and 45. They prefer men to be emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar value. Blah, blah, blah. We get that. Yet the American psychiatrist claimed he found that modern men's biggest problem is communication, which is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love. However, since the report, Dr. Mathos admitted that his TikTok page has received hate mail from male followers and offered a response, saying he's only inviting them to be the best version of themselves. In his clip, he said, Why? When all I'm doing is asking you to be the best version of yourself. That's all. All I'm inviting you to do is be the best version of yourself. He went on to say, If I, as a leader, am always seeking self improvement, so why would I not look to my relationships, the people I care about the most, the people that I say that I love, and not ask myself, How can I love these people better? Why would I not ask myself that unless I was afraid? The leaders who have come across as I visited other countries, who are the most effective are the ones who are skilled in human relationships, my friend. His report followed data showing dating apps are overrun with men, who represent 62% of users, and figures collected in the US in 2019 suggested more men than women are single. Well, I will say this. Um, let's see if I can. I will say this: there's a lot of dudes who do lie about being single, though. Uh, Dr. Mathis says society fails to teach young boys the importance of communication, which has resulted in a growing number of unintentionally single men. And over the last 30 years, men have become the larger portion of the growing group of long-term single people. You know, blah blah blah. We read that in Okay, let me go past that. Single men are statistically less happy, more likely to be unemployed, and financially unstable. Data points to societal changes that are taking place, even in just a past few decades, that allow more women to make informed choices about their relationships. And a lot of them still don't do it. I'm just being honest. So yeah, they have all this money and stuff, but they're still making the same stupid choices, though. So let's go to his TikTok page.
This hate mail from men. Why? When all I'm doing is asking you.
Okay, so here's his TikTok, and this is his gonna be his response to the hate mail that he got, and we're gonna look at some of the comments that he got. So let's get into that. Hold on.
When all I'm doing is asking you to be the best version of yourself. That's all. That's, that's all I'm inviting you to do, my brothers. That's all I'm inviting you to do is just to be the best version of yourself. I think it's the fourth Marine Corps leadership principle or something like that. I don't know where it is anymore. I haven't been in the Marine Corps for a minute, but active duty, that is. But the leadership principle is simple. Always seek self-improvement. Always seek self-improvement. Simple to me. Doesn't get more complicated than that.
Which I think men would be fine with that. Well, most men. But when you add the other thing about women's standards and all that, that's when dudes were kind of like, wait a second. Okay, I'm a lot of these women have a lot of high, almost impossible standards for men to have. So if it was really about men being the best version of themselves, I think most dudes would be okay with that. But when you start saying, "Well, you got to meet the standards of these women," I'm like, okay, bro, that's where dudes was getting like, wait a second. A lot of these women have standards that they don't even meet. So why would I meet the standards of people that don't even meet their own standards? Come on now, we got to be honest. You know that some of these women have unrealistic standards that they don't even meet. They want these men to be six figures, but why should this man, six figure man, want to get with you? So if you're going to be on some, well, you need to meet the standards of these women. No, what it should be is be. If you want to just leave it, be the best version of yourself. Fine, be that. Leave it like that. Don't involve the dating stuff and the Well, women say these dudes ain't. No, 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 no. What you should be saying is good communication will benefit you at your job. Good communication benefits you with the people around you, not just women, but other men. Because just like you got to learn how to talk to women, you also got to learn how to talk to men. You got to learn how to talk to your boss. You got to learn how to talk to coworkers. You got to learn to talk to people on the street. Hell, let's even take it to the tricking and all that other stuff. You got to learn how to talk to the hoes. But all that's not game. That's just being a man. You got to learn how to talk to people respectfully so you get that respect back. But that's not primarily. But you made it. The therapist made it all about the women instead of just being, hey, focus on your purpose, focus on your legacy, build yourself up. The mental health thing, I agree with. Learning communication, I agree with. All those things I agree with. But when you put it where you need to meet the standards of all these women, when a lot of them don't even have realistic standards, they're delusional. That's when the guys was like, whoa, 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 bro. And then on top of that, here's the other thing that you using dating apps as your guide to why these dudes are more lonelier than ever. You're using dating apps. I remember Tommy Sotomayor was using certain dating apps to say that black women are the least desired out of every woman. And people clown that. But here you got a psychiatrist who's saying that, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got the women saying, yeah, 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 he's right, right. But when Tommy used that, you're saying, oh, he was wrong, that's bullshit. Okay, you can't, we can't, we got to be fair. So, like I was saying with the dude, like, look, if you're going to use dating apps as an example of men being lonely, people are not going to take that seriously. But let's continue what he's saying. Put myself before.
So if I, as a leader, am always seeking self-improvement, then why would I not look to my relationships, the people that I care about the most, the people I say I love, and not ask myself, how can I love these people better? Why would I not ask myself that? Unless I was afraid that it meant something. It meant either that I didn't know something, I needed to do something, that something needed to change, something would have to shift. But why not embrace that? The leaders who I have come across, as I've visited other countries, served in other countries in the military, have lived in other countries. I'm in Portugal now, obviously served in the Middle East. The leaders who I have come across who are the most effective are the ones who are skilled in human relationships, my friends. And that's what I'm talking about here at A Better Love Project. And that's what I was talking about in that article on Psychology Today. All of us reaching our fullest potential, knowing that there are resources out there, mental health care, that there are therapists out there trained in communication skills. Why would you not, unless you couldn't afford it, unless you didn't have access to it? And I know that is also the case. I also know that there's a great shortage of mental health care access in the United States of America and across the world because people don't give a shit. They say they give a shit, but they don't give a shit. They prioritize other things.
You're not lying about that. There are a lot of people who say they give a shit about people. Like there are a lot of people say we care about black men. You don't really give a shit. You care about black men in the sense of what you want them to do for you. But when it's time for, okay, what are you gonna give that black man in return? Crickets. Well, he should just accept he should just accept me as I am, or all kinds of bullshit. No, no man's gonna accept you as I am. And then when it comes into leadership, some of you don't even respect the leadership of the men around. Like that video with the black woman who went to black cop. Number one, she disrespected the cop. Then she was disrespected the guy she was with by arguing with the cop when you were clearly in the wrong. And you saw that the man in that video, the black man there, all he did was sign the ticket. Your leader, he's supposed to be your leader, showed you what to do. She chose to go against that. And I've heard a lot of people will say, well, they laughing at this woman, and you have at the no, they're laughing at the woman because she was acting a donkey towards the black cop who was professional at the whole time. She want to act a donkey to him, so yeah, he arrested her. He said, "You need to sign this citation, or you're going to jail." She didn't want to sign it, so guess what? He arrested her. He arrested her. And people want to say, well, why did he arrest her? She didn't want to follow an order. That was an order that he gave her. Sign the citation, you can go home. Don't sign it, you're going to jail. Which I looked up. Yes, an officer can arrest you for not signing a citation. Yes, he can do that. He can do that. And from the video that I saw, that man wasn't even hurting this woman. She was screaming and yelling. You talk, and that's what people were laughing at. You talked all that shit, but then when the handcuffs came, now you wanna cry foul. And but the dude that she chose, piece of shit dude. He was weak ass dude. But again, that goes back to you're choosing a weak ass dude to be around. That's her choice. These women are choosing weak ass dudes to be around, even when they have the money, they have the education, they have all these resources. They still choosing the weak ass dudes, and then get mad because the weak ass dude is doing what he weak ass dudes do. And not only that, you put that man in a dangerous situation, and, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. You put you're putting the man in a dangerous situation because you didn't even follow that man's leadership. Sometimes the man don't have to say nothing. All he has to do is watch how he move, and then do what you do. Follow him. And I think I remember her saying I gotta go talk to my. If you have all that, you have the resources to fight the case. Why you're not utilizing it? That's why Camilla Munkay, he also go by Reaction Satisfaction. He said that in one of his videos. A lot of women don't know how to use their protection effectively. If you felt that if she felt that she was in the right, all she had to do was go to court, fight the case. Boom, you're done. Fight the case. Go from the judge. You know the information. You go fight that in court, not on the streets. And you don't do that to a cop and be an asshole to a cop who wasn't being an asshole to you. Now, somebody made the argument, well, he didn't have to give him a citation. No, he did not. The only way I would say he could have gave him a warning. But here's the thing. Now, the only thing I would say on that is that if there's a sign posted, no, he don't have to give you a warning, because the sign is posted and you didn't follow it. That means you just said fuck that law. So hey, and it don't have to be closed off or nothing like that. All they had to do is put the sign up. Hey, look, you can't be here at a certain time. Where I live, there's a park like 15 minutes from where I live. They had the sign posted. As soon as you drive in, it's right there. Before in the parking lot, it's right there. So there ain't no excuses. Now again, he could have given one, but he chose not to. That's his right. They don't have to give you one. So when you start acting a donkey against the cop, guess what? Cops ain't gonna argue with you. They're just gonna put the handcuffs on you. Well, if it was a black woman, I seen white. If it was a white woman, and if it was a white woman, probably he would have done the same thing. It's always you want to act a fool, and then, well, other people, that don't mean that. So what? There's other people who speed, but guess what? They catch you speeding. That don't mean that gives you the right to act to speed. It is what it is. So going back to this whole thing, I lost track of what I was saying, but like I said, if it was just on that good communication, all that stuff, being leaders, I think nobody would have had a problem. But when you put it again, put it all on about what the women want and nothing about what the men might want out of that, yeah, then yeah, some dudes are gonna have a problem with that because you made it more about the women than what it was about the men. If it was just simple, hey, better communication, you know, you'll be a better leader, fine. Nobody's gonna have a problem with that. I'm even cool when he was saying that if you focus on more on you gotta learn how the people want, so you can learn how to better effectively serve them. I don't even have a problem with that. But when you made it more about what the women and their dating standards, and you got to meet their dating standards, no, that's when the dudes was like, no, we ain't going. So let's continue with this.
Am I wrong? No. If people actually prioritize mental health, they would invest in it. They would seek out charities like this one and others, nonprofits, who are doing the work of creating free mental health resources. They would get behind people like me and others who are doing this work. They would pay mental health providers better, okay? They wouldn't cut corners. They wouldn't create startup companies that paid mental health providers shit, which there are companies like that out there right now. There would be investment in mental health because we know that mental health is relationship health is mental health. It's all interconnected, my friends. This hate mail from men.
Sorry about that last part. I forgot to mute it again, so it won't be an echo. Let me play that last part again, because I think it's very key, that last part. A lot of people talk about mental health, but they don't really invest in it like they should, especially in this society. When they talk about mental health, we got to focus on mental health. These people don't give a shit about mental health like that.
companies that paid mental health providers shit, which there are. Corners. They wouldn't create startup companies that paid mental health providers shit, which there are companies like that out there right now. There would be investment in mental health because we know that mental health is relationship health is mental health. It's all interconnected, my friends. This hate.
Yes, I agree with him that we really don't care about mental health people like that. We really don't. We really don't. That's why I'm like, this whole push for mental health is some bullshit, because it's a lot of times it's very self-serving on both sides, men and women. It's self-serving. It's not on some what would benefit the man and what would benefit the woman. It's about the self. So, and this is why I think like the dude's got on his case, because okay, you're basically telling us we got to serve what the women want instead of what we want. Okay, we want better relationship. It should be, yeah, because you want better relationship, focus on that. You should have left the women out of that, because again, these women are going to do what they want to do, and then on top of that they want to do it on your dime. You can't, you can't expect a leader to be a leader, but you want to put leaders in a difficult situation they have no business in. Like I was talking about the lady with the cop. She put her boyfriend in a dangerous situation that she had no business putting him in. If she had the people to fight the case, sign the citation, go to court, fight the court, would have won, could have sued the cop, got the money, and she wouldn't have been. This would have never went viral. That what happened with her, but because you want to act a donkey with the cop, disrespecting the cop, he told you his name multiple times. You didn't want to write it down. You wanted to play Big Billy Badass, and then when he put the cops in your life, that's when when he put the cuffs on. Now you want to cry and be a victim. No, keep that same energy, or don't have that energy at all. Let your man handle it. But you didn't want to do that because you didn't respect him as a leader. So if you don't even respect the leader, how are you going to ask for leadership as a woman? And a lot of men are going to have to understand, if these women are not respecting you as leaders, no, you don't fuck with them. Don't fuck with them. But you have to do the mental. Like I said, I agree with him. You got to work on the mental health. You got to work on yourself so you will know who's really for you and who's against you. And she acts out of disagreeing with what you with, she gotta go. That's why you can't let the obsession of what these women want. You will never meet it. You will never meet her standards. She should meet your standards, whatever you want to do, from being the player to being a married man. She has to meet your standards. She has to be under your program. And if she's not, she gotta go. Simple as that. You ain't got a lot of these women or nothing like that. There's a lot of this lying to women and all that, this obsession with women. It only stems from the fact that you don't know yourself. You don't understand yourself. You're insecure about yourself. There's a weakness within you, black man. Why you let these women do you the way they do. And because there's a weakness in you, these women will tell you all this different stuff. Meanwhile, they know the type of men they want. They know the type of men they want from the jump. But because you're so insecure, you're obsessed with them, you're not listening, you're not watching. And so while you're obsessed with them, you put them as angels. These women are human. They have desires just like you, and they're desiring a certain type of man. If you're not it, yeah, she's gonna do all kinds of shit to you. And shame on them for lying to you, but again, you have to do the work with you, so do the work within yourself, so you will know that. And I think if this man would have just kept it like that, he wouldn't get the hate that he did. Let me look at some of the comments because I wanted to look at that too. Why the hate, man? You know why? Well, they don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. They refuse to accept. They don't want to be the best version of themselves. Stuck at the tire and get triggered. Pure universe. I almost said the hate is coming from individuals who refuse to read the article in its entirety and they refuse to change. They don't want to put in the effort and they don't want to self-reflect. Let's see what else. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of them agree, and use them wisely. Do not settle. Yeah, the usual talking points of women. They've been saying women outnumber men. They have plenty of object, blah blah blah. Now it's them being single forever. They can't take it. Blah blah. You know how narcissists are the least likely to seek therapy? That's because they think they don't need it. Yeah, that. Now this is an interesting one. Where's the stat come from? More men are unpartnered than women. If we're a 50-50 male female society, is that a rise on girl? We're on 50-50. You've forgotten the LBGQ, the heterosexual monogamous men. Let's see. They have been emotionally calm their whole lives and now refuse to listen to criticism and learn and grow. I'm still trying to figure out where the coddling is. Anyway, so we got on that. Of course, the women agree because again, you're telling men they have to change, blah blah blah. Anyway, so that was the hate mail that he got in his response to that um, hate mail. Now, there was a response by a black woman, um, and I'm not gonna lie. I actually like her. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm be honest with you. She's funny as fuck. But there was a response that she made to. Um, Let me go look at the actual. I'm trying to find it here. you know. All right. Her name is unusually Bree. Let me share the screen here. Hold on. Let me share the screen. Hold on. Share my screen again. Okay. So, all right. So her name is unusually Bree. She's a therapist. I am simply this is this one. I am simply chaotic. She's a therapist. Yeah, that one I don't want as my therapist. Okay. I got it. So actually, if you listen to some of her videos, this lady is very funny. She is funny, and but to she responded to the doctor. Actually, she responded to a lady, and she responded to a lady who brought it to her. So here you go.
I fucking love it here. First off, y'all bitches is smart. This is the exact The comment says, I wish men would understand that emotional intelligence is so important because of how much clarity / security it would bring to your lives. Y'all think bitches just be talking in y'all ear just to be fucking talking. We don't. Y'all think bitches just want to argue with y'all because y'all refuse to expand your emotional vocabulary. We don't. It's to provide clarity for both us and y'all dusty bitches. Let me stop. This shit really truly irks me because when I say you need to expand your emotional vocabulary, it's so your life can be easier.
Sorry, let me back it up because I need to mute.
I fucking love it here. First off, y'all bitches is smart. This is the exact The comment says, I wish men would understand that emotional intelligence is so important because of how much clarity / security it would bring to your lives. Y'all think bitches just be talking in y'all ear just to be fucking talking. We don't. Y'all think bitches just want to argue with y'all because y'all refuse to expand your emotional vocabulary.
And here's the thing, I will say, I do think that women do be talking just to be talking. They do bitch a lot more than what she's saying. Unfortunately, nobody got time to be listening to a lot of bitching from women. And it also depends on the woman that is saying it. Now, if it's not only just the message, it's the messenger. If you're coming from a place of bitterness and anger, and in particular, let's just take YouTube for example. If most of your commentary on what black men are doing, and it's always negative, 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 yeah, most dudes are not going to take that very well, and most dudes are just going to tune the fuck out. But if you're more balanced, yeah, most men are going to listen. I don't tune out all women, but at the same time, you can't come to me on some bullshit and then on top of that, don't follow what you preaching. The women can't come to me on some bullshit and you don't even follow what you preach. That's going to be a problem. And that's why dudes don't listen to a lot of these women, because you're not consistent with whatever you're saying. If you were consistent, men would understand. but you're not consistent. Especially when you're talking about dudes that y'all be dating, you're not consistent. You say you want this, but you're dating a dude that's the opposite. Well, no. You can't be on some. You can't be on some. I want this type of dude. He had to have 6 figures, all this, but you're dating a Dusty. You can't be on online talking about we hate these Dusties, but you hanging with a Dusty. We don't like these weak dudes, but you hang with a pandering black dude. You hang with an LBTQ black dude. Who you say most of these dudes are weak? These LBGTQ black dudes are weak anyway. So how are you hanging with them? You hang with the weakest dude, the panderers, the dudes that kiss your ass, the dudes who do all that. So what? So then you want to come and talk about how dudes are dusty, they weak, they just want the box, but then you posting thirst traps and all that stuff. I'm sorry, you can't come to me with that kind of crap. Sorry, that's not how that goes. Let's continue.
Vocabulary. We don't. It's to provide clarity for both us and y'all dusty bitches. Let me stop. This shit really truly irks me because when I say you need to expand your emotional vocabulary, it's so your life can be easier. Don't you want to be able to communicate with your bitch? I think yes, right? Long gone are the days where you can just shut down. Bitches is not tolerating that. Like, it used to be where men provided financially or with Schmeat, and bitches can make their own self come and we can pay for our own shit. So I'm gonna need y'all to catch up on the emotional part. If a bitch is telling you, I need you to communicate more, open your fucking mouth. But you know what I realized? And let me back up. A common misconception about me as a clinician is that 90% of my clientele have been men. Black men specifically. And what we specifically work on is expanding their emotional vocabulary because a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't even have the words to express how you're feeling. So when you expand your vocabulary and knowledge of what you are experiencing, because y'all are human beings who experience feelings and emotions and don't have to choke that shit down no more. Y'all ain't had to choke that shit down since 2016. Anyway, if y'all are not in therapy, expanding your emotional vocabulary, your life just off top is going to be more difficult. When you expand your emotional vocabulary, you expand your awareness of yourself. When you expand your emotional vocabulary, you understand how you can navigate in this bitch. This fucking weird ass world that is so hard on y'all. Like, let's acknowledge that the world is very difficult for y'all, but y'all are not making it any easier, bruh. You're not. When bitches are telling y'all to go to therapy, it's not for us, it's for y'all.
Well, a lot of things to unpack here. Well, first of all, if a dude is really like shut down, it's usually because you're coming at him. Either you're coming at him, you're not respected. That's number one. First of all, if you call, first of all, you calling women bitches, I'm already tuning you out from the jump. You're saying you're a therapist, and this is how you talk. Lady, I'm not going to take you seriously. I get it. No, you're on YouTube, you're on your own time. I get that. However, lady, you're trying to get men to have this emotional intelligence and open up, but you're calling them dusties. You insulting them, but you want them to open up to you. How is that going to work? You cannot expect a man to open up to you and you're insulting them. Okay? You're insulting his intelligence. So guess what? He's going to emotionally shut down because I'm not about to sit here and be insulted. Well, like your delivery. Yeah, the delivery is important depending on what environment that you're in. If you're supposed to be a therapist, if you're going around insulting the very people that's coming to you for therapy, you just failed at your fucking mission. And yes, dudes are going to shut down. If you nag at them, they're going to shut down. If you try to force an issue, they're going to shut down. Men ain't trying to get nagged and be, they ain't going to be insulted on top of that. And then you're going to tell them, we'll go to therapy. I'm not trying to hear you. No man trying to hear you. That's what some of these black men are saying. It's not the message, it's the messenger. You're not a representative of someone I want to go seek therapy from. You always thinking these dudes are dusty from the jump, from your dating experience. I can show you that from some of your videos. You have a bias towards men from the gate, and men are not dumb. They can pick up on that. So yes, they're going to shut down. It's not because they're not emotionally intelligent. A lot of you players are very emotionally intelligent. But if you're coming off insulting, if you're coming off here just dismissive of their issues, guess what? They're going to shut down. And then when they shut down, now you want to be mad. Why these men don't want to open up? But you're shutting them down from the jump. And that comes from childhood, from the moms. Insulting them, saying they ain't shit, all that kind of stuff, yelling and screaming at them like, now, for every little thing. That comes from that. Let's take it back to the woman with the cop. You see why when she was acting the fool, he shut down. You want to know why he shut down? Because he's used to women scolding him like a child. So, yes, he shut it down. That's the part that a lot of these women don't want to talk about. And when they don't, and that's what the men are saying. Some of the men are saying, we don't want to be emotionally available because we don't want to be scolded like children. When we say something, you want to scold us like we're children. Hell, remember that whole thing with Stacey Abrams? One of those chicks told black men they just need to shut up and let us. We don't want to hear from you. How you think that's going? How you think that's going to help men to open up to particularly black women? That's not. You're not helping. You're hurting more than help. Well, wait. When we talk to you, okay, it's still the messenger. You can say all that without saying you dusties and all that kind of being insulting. You want to be insulting, but then try to be a therapist. That's not going to work, sis. Nobody's going to take you seriously.
Sad motherfuckers. Go to therapy. Talk about that shit that's on your chest. You don't have to choke that shit down no more. Y'all are doing a disservice to yourself. And so let me sum this shit up. Y'all told bitches to elevate our standards. And at the cost of us elevating y'all standards, y'all got axed because y'all didn't elevate either. Bitches are not tolerating emotional abuse, emotional neglect. Step it up. Go talk to somebody. Go expand your emotional vocabulary so your life can be better, bitch. All right, go in peace. I fucking love it here. First off, y'all bitches is
Okay. Actually, I do like her. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna lie. I do like her, and not because she's a beautiful woman. I just like her talking point. But here's the problem. Again, you're insulting the men, but telling them to go to therapy. That's not gonna work, sis. That don't work. So if you're gonna insult the men, and I'll show you another clip. Hold on. This.
A couple days ago.
with great. Yeah. Okay. All right, a couple healing insights. I'm tired of people testing my healing gangster. All right, what's up? I got a lot more shit on my mind. A lot more. Grammar. I got a lot more shit on my mind, and I'm gonna split it off. I'm tired of dating. Just off the simple fact that men deserve hell in jail. Not all y'all, but just like 99.9.999% of y'all. As someone who gives all in the relationships, I don't want to do that shit anymore. I would like to be taken care of, but we'll see. For one, I would like to be the one that's like nurtured, but not sure when or if that's ever gonna happen. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna mind my fucking business. Yeah. Y'all don't deserve my good, kind-hearted nature. Or this ass. Y'all don't deserve the love that I be giving. Y'all don't deserve the time and the attention. And again, y'all don't deserve this ass. So be well. All right, what's up? I got a lot of more shit on my mind. A lot of more.
I like her. I really do. But here's the thing. If it was not as a therapist that treat actual men, black men, which you said 90% of your clients are black men, if you were saying stuff like that, I would be fine with it because, hey, you living your life. I can understand dealing with goofy niggas all the time. Yeah, I would be. Shit, it's just like I feel like with a lot of black people. A lot of people are goofy. So I'm like, nah. I'm like, bitch, I get paid to deal with goofy niggas. But if you're a therapist, you can't go around saying shit like this. Because again, it, it shows that you have a bias. And if you have a bias against a certain group of men from the gate, it's going to affect your ability to treat them. There are some people who can do it and still have their biases. That's fine. But here's the thing. Your personal business tends to bleed into your work relationship most times. Some people can separate the two. Most can't. And I don't care, you're the cop, therapist, teacher, all these different things. Whatever you personally feel is going to bleed into your work. And especially if you're dealing with the public, where you're supposed to be helping the public, if you have a bias towards a certain group, if you have a bias from the jump against black men, and you show it, Nobody's going to trust you to treat them. Nobody's going to trust you to treat them. That's just right. And we find out later that that comes back to bite you. You know, like I said, work it's it's hard to separate work and your personal life. It's very hard. I know everybody talk about it, but it's hard to do that. Okay, it's very hard. Let's get into this. So, so she was responding, um, and I shown some to show that she does have a bias towards black men, and she has shown that. Now, because of this, and because of her that video that she did responding to the article, well, she got fired. So let's get into that. Let's go back to that. Okay.
All right, couple healing insights.
I'm gonna go here. Now, I didn't see this part.
Hello. I would like to make a video addressing my recent video calling for men to go to therapy. Now, I will say that, firstly, I would like to apologize for the colorful language that I used, but I want to express where I'm coming from. So, as a clinician, my job is not to make people change. My job is to plant seeds and help my clients water the soil and cultivate it so they have a thriving environment to grow. That is my job. Now, from a human standpoint, I entered this field because I saw a dire need for Black mental health and Black mental health professionals, because I was not always met with support. So I apologize to individuals if you felt like my language was colorful, but I want you to know more deeply where I come from. A few people have called into question my Blackness, which is to be expected. My personhood is questioned quite often. I chose to go.
I'm still trying to figure out why would anybody question her blackness? What? What? Why anybody would question her blackness? That's silly. But let me like question her blackness for what? That's silly. And that's that thing with the pro blacks. It's like, man, you, you can't talk against black people. You can't point out their problems. Oh, you must be you anti-black. Man, if you don't shut the fuck up with that anti-black bullshit, I hate that shit. That gets under my nerves. Oh, I don't agree with the black people, the pro blacks. You anti-black, man. If you don't get your man, give me a job, motherfucker. You want me to agree with you wholeheartedly? Give me a job. You got to pay me.
To go into mental health because only 4% of clinicians are Black, yet there's 13% of Black individuals in America. So there's already a huge disparity. And I have made it my life's work to help fill that gap. Now, where my frustration comes in is I called for individuals to do better, but then my job got doxxed. I understand that people may not agree with my delivery or the things that I'm saying, but a major boundary has been crossed. I'm so passionate in my words because I'm tired of seeing men suffer. I'm tired of seeing you guys endure so much hurt and so much trauma and refusing to do anything about it when you guys have the power to do it. As a clinician, my job is to motivate and empower, and it came across angry and aggressive because as a Black woman, I'm also tired of being hurt. I'm tired.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to understand it. I get you trying to encourage people, but you're a professional. I'm sorry, you can't do what other people. Listen, Faith Factor, which I'm subscribed to, and I'm a member of. She can do that, but she's not a therapist, and she's not hired by a company. Sister George can do that and be up there kind of like getting dudes ass, but she's not a therapist. Ma'am, you're a therapist. So yeah, you up there insulting these dudes, calling them dusty, saying that 99% of you on some bullshit. It shows a bias against Black men. I get it. You're trying to help, but this ain't helping, and you're doing it the wrong way. You can't be under someone's dime and do shit like this. And especially if you're saying Black men come see me for therapy, but you think they dusty, you think they liars, you think they own some bullshit, they're sad motherfuckers. You can't do that. You can't show a bias. Because if you're showing a bias from the jump, nobody's going to want to come see you as a therapist. And again, some people are going to report you because you're showing a bias. Nobody's going to want to be under a therapist who has a bias, showing fully they have a bias. You have to show neutrality. You have to. In your field, you have to show neutrality. Just like in my profession, I'm a correctional officer. I have to show neutrality. Okay? There's some dudes in there who done some heinous shit that I don't want to be around. But I can't show that. You want to know why I can't show that? Because it shows a bias. And that's going to bleed into my job. Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. Most times it don't. Sometimes it does. But I have to treat everyone firm, fair, consistent. I have to do that. Because if I don't, I show favoritism. I show bias. That can get me in a lot of trouble. So, lady, the problem is you're in the wrong profession to be trying to do stuff like this. You're going to have to pick a struggle. But there you go.
I'm tired of being hurt by the very entity that I love the most, which is the Black man. I have made it my life's work, dedicated myself to encouraging and uplifting Black people, especially the Black man. But my words came across very, very spicy because you guys are dying. Whether it be gun violence, whether it be you guys killing each other, whether it be you guys killing yourselves, because you endure a lot. And I see that because I am your other half. I am your partner. I am your equal. I am not your enemy. Despite the words that I used, I want you guys to understand that my message is clear. You have to grow. You have to move and shift as a person. But sometimes you cannot do that shit alone. Men depression rates are skyrocketing. Men's suicide rates are skyrocketing. I'm not making these statistics, I'm just drawing light on this topic. Forgive me if I seem passionate in my words. I'm only passionate because I'm tired of seeing Black men die. I cannot articulate the feeling of the perpetual trauma that I have experienced, that Black men have experienced, that I am beyond tired of seeing. I have children who cry in session because they wonder why their dads didn't show up to their birthday. I have teenagers who don't feel important because they didn't have someone to tell them that they loved them. They didn't have that strong male support to make them feel like they're okay. And I'm only generational trauma that has been inflicted upon.
I get it. I get it. The same thing. You were hurt, so you're frustrated. I get that. The problem is, again, as a therapist, you can't be showing that on social media and then be under someone else's dime. Men are coming to you for therapy. But if you have this anguish and anger towards them, frustration, you're not going to be an effective therapist. You're going to turn into a social justice warrior. And then you're going to give them treatment that is not based on, it's not going to be based on you trying to help them. It's going to be based on what you want from them. And that's where a lot of people, that's why I tend to be like, I don't be listening to a lot of these pro-blacks, a lot of the women, because it's never from a place of making the men better. It's from a place of self-serving. You don't even ask what the men want. You want them to do this, so you can end your suffering. That's fine. If you want to do that on your own time, on your own dime, that's fine. But when you're doing it on someone else's dime, that's a problem. And then you expect those same men, do you have these feelings of frustration and anger and showing all this, you still want them to come seek to you for therapy. It's not going to work. People are not going to come. They're not going to come. It's just like a black man saying, I hate all these white people. But then you have white clients. People are going to see that and be like, wait a second, why I'm going to go to you? You have this hatred towards me. That would be it would be the reverse. It's like if you, how some of these the conscious community, people start living the conscious community because they saying that, no, you don't really care about these women like that. You got babies everywhere with these women. You got you treat them like dirt. You scamming them and all that kind of stuff. How's that gonna work? It's crazy. But anyway, let me go to the other video that she responded after all this.
I would like
you know. And here we go. This one here.
Well, hello. It's your friendly neighborhood therapist who thought she could save these hoes, but got her job terminated as a result. Story time? I think yes. Shit you not, I posted a video on Monday telling men that their best behavior is only harming them and that they would benefit from emotional intelligence. And I shit you not, by Friday, didn't have employment. All of this started with a Psychology Today article stating that men are lonelier than ever because they have no fucking emotional skills. And I agreed and doubled down and told y'all that y'all lives would radically improve if you expanded the shit that came out your mouth. But instead of healing, y'all will do anything but that. Instead of being accountable, like, hey, this bitch see me, and stirred a little bit, y'all got so hurt that you contacted Massa. That's exactly what happened. So first, the post goes viral on Twitter.
All right, so because you called them dusty, you insulted them. Yeah, they called because here's the thing: you can't be insulting people, the very clients you claiming you trying to help, but you're insulting them, calling them dusty, calling them sad motherfuckers, and then magically want them to come to you for therapy. And then here's the killer part, which I don't think she even told nobody. Guess who openly doxed her? Was it a black man? Nope, it was a black woman. But she got all this vitriol for the black man when a black woman was the one that really did the damage. But here's the thing: she calls it on herself because you don't understand. Hey, I get you want to help, but the way you're going about it ain't the way, sis. You can't insult people, and then men can do that to other men. We can take that from men, not from no women. Sorry. And especially you talking about therapists. You're a therapist, and you want to insult the men, the very men that you are trying to help. It's not gonna work. And so the dudes got tired of it. Hell, a black woman got tired of it. Again, a black woman was one that ultimately did the damage to you, but you don't want to talk about that. But let's get it.
Cause y'all need fucking help. And y'all wanted to argue with bitches blue till they fucking blue in the face. Some of you hoes is not gonna be saved. And that's the conclusion that I've come to. So because this shit's gone viral, I'm thinking, okay, cool. We starting a discussion on mental health, and you might not like my fucking delivery, but motherfuckers is starting to talk, shaking the tables. I don't give a fuck. But then it turns into this entire crusade of attacking a black woman who serves the fucking black community. There were comments like, I'm going to find her credentials and report her because I told y'all to be better. Yeah, y'all are fucking weird.
It wasn't the fact that you told them to be better. You forgot you added the extras. Again, calling them dusty, calling them sad motherfuckers, calling them. Oh, and let's not forget the other videos you had on there saying that most of these men are fucking out of pocket and shit. Now, they're crazy and stuff. So you had those videos out there. You had a bias. Now, if we're not serving, again, when you're under someone else's dime, especially when you're talking about you're under a company that focus on helping black men, the last thing they want is one of their therapists to be having this bias, insulting them and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that. But black men insult black women all the time. Yeah, but they ain't got no job like that. You have a job. You messing up your bag to get at these dudes. You don't do that, sis. That's not that. And then they go back to the protection part. And like I told Platt on his platform, I said, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but now on my dime. You want to go insult black men on someone else's dime. You can't do that. Nobody's going to accept that. And so when they called and said, hey, yeah, you need to go look at her on TikTok because she's doing this, they looked at you shit and like, wait a second, you about to fuck our bag up. Nah, sis, you got to go. And now you're mad and trying to be a victim. No, sis. No. Don't come around talking about protect. Black men should be protecting me. No. You insult the men, the very men that you claim to want to help. You insult them. Call them dusty. And then on the other videos, you're insulting them. What are you expecting from the very men you want to insult? You vote in your frustration. Bro, you cannot show that as a therapist. I remember one time that but I'll get into that in a minute. Let me continue.
Y'all scream that y'all want to protect women, protect black women specifically, but have done nothing to protect this black woman who has been serving the communities. I have been violated in several areas, and I'm going to outline each one. This article was written by a fucking black woman, putting my full government and my place of employment. So being doxxed by a black woman can't fake, kind of fucking hurts, and she never once reached out to me or contacted me so I could spend my side of the story. This is the article that spooked my fucking job and got me fired. Not only does she not have any regard for my
So again, you mad at the black man, but this was a black woman that did this to you. Like, how are you mad at the black man when the black woman was the one that did it to you? Shouldn't you be going after that sister over there? What the fuck were you thinking? And again, you can't go around insulting the very men that you said that you're trying to help and then turn around and want them to protect you. That is the silly shit that I see on social media. You got black women going around insulting men, disrespecting men, and then want protection from black men. How the fuck does that even fucking work? You're in a profession that you're supposed to be helping black men, and you want to insult them. You want to call them dusties. You want to call them fucking on some bullshit. That most of them are crazy and stuff like that. And you supposed to be a therapist. You can't do that, man. You have to show. You can't show a bias. You can't show your frustration. I don't care if you mad at all these black men that you have helped as therapists. You can't do that. It's just the same as if I was came up here on this panel and said black women ain't shit, they worthless, they garbage. You know who mostly I work with? Black women. You know what would happen to me? I would get fired off the rip. If I said something to and even imply incite violence against black women, I'd be fired. Because they can go take that information, go to my employer, I'm gone. If I go around saying something negative about some of the inmates at my prison, personal information, I would get fired. I can't do that. You work in the public where you have an oath to do no harm to people. If you're insulting them, you're doing them harm. I'm sorry. That's just the crux of it. And and it wasn't even black men that did this to you. It was a black woman. So why the fuck are you pissed off at black men after you said most of them were worthless, most of them were playing games, most of them were doing all this different shit, insulting the very black man you supposed to be taking care of, and then have the nerve to ask for fucking protection? How the fuck that work? No men in a right mind would do that. But you know who would do it? Some black men will do that. They will do that. They will be insulted by black women. They will be disrespected time and time again, and they'll still protect some of these black women. And then on top of that, we'll shit on the ones that are defending them. And you, lady, have the gall to come on here, have that sob story earlier, great sob story, and again, I understand the frustration. I have frustration with my people. I work in the prison. I have frustration with these inmates. Hell, I have frustration with my co-workers. Some of these co-workers are out of pocket. But guess what? I can't show that frustration at my job. I can't show this frustration at times, even here. You know why I can't do that? Because I serve the public. Lady, you serve the fucking public. That's why you lost your job. Because you insulting the very men that you supposed to be claiming you helping. And that your employer saw that and said, no, you gotta go. You showing bias. I can't have you working for me because I don't know what kind of treatment you're gonna give to them. And you might have been giving the right advice. You might been, but because you're showing a bias, you're insulting the very man that's coming to you. That company can't take the chance that you're gonna give them a, a bad diagnosis, and then now that man gonna come sue your company. What you think they were gonna do? You work for someone. Now, if you had your own practice, you had your own shit. Hey, go ham. You can show your frustrations. You can have all that. And the most you're gonna lose is just customers. But when you're working for somebody, like I said again, like I told Platinum on his panel, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but not on my dime. There are a lot of black women out here. Unfortunately, they want to do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live how they want to live on someone else's dime. If you're going to do all that, freedom costs, and that cost is it's on you. You can't insult people and then expect protection. You're using your protection wrong. You're abusing it. And that's the other thing that a lot of these women don't want to talk about, how these women abuse the protection that they have. You abuse it every fucking day. You insult these men. You want to go at these men. Hell, you know what the funniest thing about it? They go after the men that ain't bothering you. They go after the men and want to go after them. I'm all for, like, even on here on YouTube, I have no problem with these women going at the black mainstream. I got no problem going after these goofy niggas of the red pill. I got no problem going after the goofy niggas in the black pill to a degree, because if they saying some goofy shit, insulting shit, by all means, go ham. But you have to understand, if you're in a public sector and you're going after men who ain't doing that, that's your ass. And nobody can protect you. Nobody's going to be able to protect you if you're insulting people. If you're insulting people, not just insulting people, dissing them, saying that most of these men ain't worth the diddly squat, showing your frustrations and anger, and then you expect these men to come to you. No, nobody's going to protect you. Nobody's going to do that. I remember this was like a couple of years ago. Tommy Lauren was up there talking about how these white men, these these white men treat us like this, blah blah blah. They don't want to do this. They selfish, all that shit. You know what the white men did? They said, "Look, chick, listen, you need to apologize, or we're gonna fire you." And she ended up apologizing. See, that's power right there. That's what black men need to get to, power. So that if these women are coming around here insulting you, putting out bad information against you, fuck that argument. Fuck the arguments, fuck all that. Get at their money. Hit that bag up. That's what the LGBTQ do a lot. That's what the Jewish people do a lot. They ain't talking to you. They hit your bag. See, when you hit that bag, that's when all that talking stops. And that's all you got to do. Hit the bag up. It's going to be either, hey, I'm going to change how I do stuff, or I'm just going to stop doing it. And nobody's going to protect you if you throw yourself in the fucking wolf. If a wolf is coming to you and you mind your own business, yeah, people going to protect you. If you throw yourself at the fucking wolf, nobody's coming. Why are we going to come and protect you? For no good reason. I'm just going to hit this wolf and we'll see what happens. And when the wolf mauls you, then you can't come crying, well, where's my protection at? What do you mean, where's the protection at? Nobody's going to protect you if you throwing yourself in the wolves. Anyway, let me get to the rest of this.
Safety, many other articles have been written as a result. Here are a few of them, just to name a few. Black Twitter has words for therapists scolding men to go to fucking therapy. Y'all attacked me and got mad at me because I wanted better for y'all. That's the most crab in the barrel bucket type bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking life. A plethora of black men decided to take it upon themselves to call my employment to get me fired. You succeeded, but you succeeded in not the way that you think.
She still didn't address the fact that the black woman was the one that did dox you. The black woman was the one that called the employer, wrote the article against you. That was the black woman that did that. I see that she just flew past that part. No, it wasn't the black woman. No, nothing to see here. But it was the black man that called your job and stuff. Never mind, that was the black woman that you said earlier from the beginning of this diatribe was the one that wrote the article and called your job. They did that. She did that. So she was only the one that got you fired. But you mad at the black man for not protecting you when you You put yourself in harm's way. Okay? You put yourself in harm's way. That wasn't the black man's fault. Nobody told you to go out there and even do any of this. Just stick to being a therapist. Simple enough. Now, if you want to be you want to be an Instagram, a TikTok, and go viral, there's penalties that come with that. Now your name out there. Now if somebody don't like what you're saying, guess what they're gonna do? Now they can find who you are. Now they can get at your job. And look what happened to Andrew Tate. He got canceled. This is cancel culture, baby. See now, but now here's the cancel culture is turned on you. See, it was okay when it's just men getting canceled, but now women getting canceled. Now they flipping out, and now you want protection. No, you don't get no protection. If you want to insult the very people that you're supposed to be helping, the same people that you want them for protection, and you think that dudes are going to protect you after you have insulted them, calling them dusty and all that kind of shit, and you still expect protection, no, you're an idiot. And you deserve whatever that comes with that. Nobody's going to protect you.
If it's one thing about Black women is that we're incredibly resilient. This just cleared the table to give me space and opportunity to educate the masses while shaking our asses to healing because y'all got mad because I wanted you to do better.
Okay, I'm going to cut that off. Now, okay, so that's the fallout from that article, and it's causing a lot of people hate mail and then getting fired. Now, here's the thing, because it's almost a 2-hour mark. I don't even want to be on that long, but it's a lot of stuff to get into. I like the lady, actually. I like her. I really do. Don't get me wrong. This is not me trying to insult her and be like, but and be like she's just a bad person and nothing like that. I think her heart in the right place, but here's the problem: you're in the wrong profession. You're in the wrong profession. You with the public. You're under a public entity. It, like somebody said in her thing, open your own practice. That way, the only thing you have to worry about is losing customers, and you'll probably get more women customers coming to you. And there's probably still gonna be men that's gonna come to you. I don't know why, but they're gonna do it. But if you do stuff like if you insulting men and all that kind of stuff, guess what? It's just like at the church. You know why men checked out? Because it was focused more on the women. So the men just checked out. It's just like in the Black community. It was all about the women over the men. So the men just checked out. They're like, no, we're checking out. If you look at like the conscious community, it's a lot of it's now women based. Hell, even the Black Manosphere is starting to be women based, and that dudes are starting to check out because it's always about the women. There's nothing about the men improving men. It's fine if you want. It's understandable to want better for men, but it has to be men centric. If you're going to do that, it has to be men centric. That's why, like I said, that other therapist and her got it wrong. You made it about what the women want. It should be about what the men want and should be focused just strictly on that. Stop putting your bias up in there. Stop putting your frustrations up in there. Put it be where it needs to be about the men. If you can't do that, then you can't be a therapist like that. You can't be under someone else's dime and try to do whatever you fuck you want to do. Now I'm pretty sure the guy over there, the white guy, he can do that. He's not under somebody. He has his own practice. She didn't have her own practice. So yeah, that's why they were able to call, and that's when they were able to get her fired. Angela, I need to talk to Dieter Rell, and um, I want to see if he would do a show about this because he's a therapist, and there's another lady, uh, Topaz, who's a therapist, and I wonder how they see the situation. But so, what is this a lesson for black men? Number one, focus on yourself because you have to understand a lot of these therapists are biased. They have their biases, and really judge who you're going to. Therapy is important. Mental health is very important, and nobody should. Don't let this dissuade you from getting mental health. Mental go fix your mental health. I can't talk. This shouldn't dissuade you from that, but you have to actually you have to find out about the person that you're dealing with. You know, because you just can't go to anybody because especially if they have a social media account, you might want to look at that too and see what they really talking about. If it's balanced, it's pretty much going to be a good thing. But if they're on some bias shit, frustrated about their dating lives, they're going to spread that into their work life. It's impossible to separate the two. It's almost impossible. Some people can do it, most can't. And as much as I like her, and I'm not celebrating that she got fired. I want people to understand that I'm not celebrating this. I don't think I don't think that it was cool that she got fired personally. But I understand why because again, you were insulting the very men that you saying you're trying to treat. So that's a problem. And then again, this is the funny thing. You blame the black men, but it was a black woman that doxed you and put your information out there. So in actuality, you should be not only should you be mad at the men, you should be mad at the women because the woman was the one that doxed you because she saw what we saw. You can't be impartial. You're gonna be partial. And listen, everybody has a bias, but if um, you let your partiality affect your job, when people can see it, yeah, people gonna be like, no, I don't want this person as a therapist. Yeah, you need to get rid of her. It's just the way it is. So again, for my black men out here, if you have your biases, which we all do, you have to keep that shit off of social media. We all have biases. I have biases. I'm biased towards black men. However, in that my biases is that I know how to still be able to be empathetic, but in a public realm, I can't show that biases here on social media. because if you do that, you're gonna get yourself into some trouble, and they're gonna fire you because these companies do not want to appear that they're biased towards customers, certain customers. You saw what happened with Starbucks. Starbucks took a big hit because of that. No company wants to go through that. So my advice for black men, if you working under a company and you're trying to do social media, you really need to be careful because something can go viral. You say something, these people could go and call your employer and get you fired. They try to do that with Nick Taylor. They did that with the first stages of the Black Manosphere. Those people got fired, doxxed. Some of them got arrested. They had to leave the country. You have to be careful what you're doing on social media. Now, the best way you can prevent a lot of this, have your own practice. Have your own company. So that way, the only person who when they call your company, yes, yeah, this brother speak, he up there saying shit about women. We want them fired. Okay, yeah, we sure. I'm sure gonna do that. Yeah. Who's the manager? I'm the manager. What's your name, brother? Speak. What? Yeah, this is my business. So yes, we're going to. So I heard your complaint, and we're going to have this number 1-800 go fuck yourself. And if that doesn't work, you could call 976 get a life. And if that doesn't work, call 415 fuck you idiot and have a nice day. But you can only do that if you own your own business, you're an entrepreneur. The only thing you're going to risk is losing customers. But if you have a job, especially a job that serves the public, what you say can affect your job. Again, nobody say you don't have the freedom of speech. You do. But again, you can't have freedom of speech on someone else's dime. You can't. That's so to any black woman that are listening to. You want to help black men? Great. No problem with that. You want to be a therapist? Great. No problem with that. But you can't be insulting the people that you're trying to help and expect nothing bad to happen. And then when something goes viral, we have a cancel culture. Women been canceling men for years. Now it's women's turn to get canceled. And guess what? People are going to initiate it. And they're going to do it. And hell, it won't even be the black man doing it. It's going to be the black woman doing it. Because again, 2022, you haven't won a gender war. If you really won a gender war, that black woman wouldn't have done that to you. They would have been on code. But these sisters are not on code. They say they are, but they're not. And that is shown. And that's why the men don't take you serious. And men, we got to get on code. And when I read that article by the white dude, it's just, it reinforces that at the end of the day, we're still more focused on the women. It's still an unhealthy obsession with women. Now, that's a white dude, but I can see a black man writing that same type of article. And then it's just going to be like, okay, it's all about the women. And it can't be all about the women. It got to be about the men. What's going to help the men outside of what women? It can't be about women validation. It can't be women pussy. It can't be love of women. It's got to be about the men, helping the men be the better version of themselves. Leave the women out of it. It got to be about the men helping them. Because if it's not, then it's going to be pointless. They're still gonna have that same obsession. And the reason why a lot of these dudes are lonely, because they're obsessed with women. They can't get the women that they want, and they obsess over it. They can't. It's not natural because they obsess over it, and because they obsess over it, they'll lie to these women. They'll kiss their asses. They'll they'll accept any kind of bullshit off a woman. They'll get scolded by a woman. They'll do all this stuff for women, deal with women, and then it leads to a lot of the problems that they have. And you wonder why these dudes shut down. They shut down because why should I open up and I'm just going to get insulted for it? You know, I'm coming to you for therapy, but you're going to insult me and all this stuff. How's that work? So, for the men out here, get the mental help, get the therapy, but do it on your own terms, for your own legacy, for you to be powerful. Otherwise, if you're doing it just for women and doing it to seek validation, pussy, love, whatever from a woman, you're going to be powerless. And when you're powerless, you just accept any old thing. That's just the way it is. But anyway, it's over the 2-hour mark, and I hate going that long. I know y'all don't want to hear me talking that long. So I'd like to thank people who are watching this on the replay. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm growing slowly but steadily. And at the end of the day, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. I'm Brother Speak. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Have a good rest of your day.